Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. I'm Steve David and I'm your host. Today I want to talk about FIFA experimental rule change that they want to adopt. First, let me introduce the guys who is going to help me do this, and then we're going to let you know about what these 5 changes are. Jefferson George, welcome to the set.
Thank you. Good night, Steve. Good night to the viewers.
And Anthony Clark, welcome to the set.
Always a pleasure, Steve.
All right.
Football. Thank you very much.
Now, I know you guys heard about the experimental change that FIFA want to adopt. And there's 5 things they want to change on those are 30-minute game, or 30-minute half, 1 hour game, 30-minute halves, right? Then the second one is
unlimited substitution.
Unlimited substitution. Throw in, you play with your foot.
Right, throw in with your feet. Right, 5-minute suspension for yellow cards, so you're just off the field for 5 minutes, like ice hockey.
Right.
Like ice hockey. And what was the last one?
Clock stops when the ball goes out.
When the ball goes out.
All right. So those are the 5. So first, I want to find out what you guys think about it, and then we can break it down if you want, or break it down and then say what we think about it, right? So you smiling, Jeff?
I'm smiling, but they say we should go the positive first.
All right. So.
So Steve gonna talk? No. I think it is good to experiment. Anything to allow fans to come to the games, and you don't have to wait for this big occasion all the time. It could bring some excitement to the game, like 2020 cricket. And I don't know their plans on how they're going to implement it, if it's 11-a-side, if they're going to break it down to a more small goal competition, so it's more...
No, it's exactly what it is.
Right.
Let's deal with the 5 things exactly how football is played.
Right, so...
We ain't speculating.
Right. Well, right, with that, I will have to speculate, because it wouldn't change anything in terms of the fan base, you know, right, for a team, right? So they will have to do more based on, I don't know what their objective is, if their objective is to get more fans to come to the games, or if they want to shorten the game. I don't know their objective. They just indicated these 5 changes, and therefore I need to know what their goal is with these changes. If it is that I don't know that, then I will have to speculate.
All right.
Clark is so difficult, man. I don't understand what he's talking about.
I think in this situation here, FIFA is difficult. Now, for me, the suggested changes that they're experimenting with and that is proposed brings no value to the game.
Correct.
Right.
I need to know their goal.
Well, based on what they're already experimenting with, I believe in certain European countries, the game, Clarky suggested to like 2020. Now, 2020 is a version of cricket. Have a version of football, but don't interfere with football as we know it. Now, there are things that has been implemented, like the VAR and so on, and you can see logically what the purpose for that is. These suggested changes, there is what is the purpose for it? It doesn't make the game better, right? If you need to have something else, create something else, Steve. There's enough excitement in football as it is. Football don't need to be tampered with, and that's why I think people who are not football people are interfering with it. Create something else, call it whatever you want to do, you know, play with an oval ball or something, and you know, it doesn't roll through. That would give you excitement, but it wouldn't be football.
No. I'll just touch a couple so you guys get the idea, I think. Multiple substitution. That means we keep players in the field fresh because they could come in and out, in and out, in and out. So I can bring a man out for 5 minutes, then catch his win and put him back in for another 10.
Yeah.
All of them major players.
Okay.
So that would help in the quality of the game.
I disagree.
Yeah, same here. So let me get it. Well, go ahead and let me.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know, then playing instead of throwing, you put it on the ground and you play it in. No, you can play that in 50, 60 yards. You know, that would make it right into the goal, especially late in the game.
Right, and again, I disagree.
Okay, well, you tell me why.
Yes, yeah.
Again, late. I'm telling you, how it would excite the game a little more.
Yeah.
You played in for a 50-yard right into the goal mouth late in the game.
Yeah.
What you want better than that? That is excitement. That brings more excitement to the game. Now, the stoppage, when the ball goes outside, I think that makes total sense. Because we waste 15 minutes anyway dicking around with, playing around with the thing, right? So we waste that time. So let's just stop the clock when it goes out and continue. So we're going to run for 90 minutes anyway, because 50 minutes is waste time, right?
Well, it wouldn't be 90 because they already cut the game short. They make it 6.
Well, I know, but with stopping the clock, when you're sitting in the stand, you're really sitting in a 90-minute game anyway.
Let me adjust while I
And there's more, but go ahead.
Yes, all right. So let's deal with these 3 for now. Right, what was the first one again?
The first one was the...
Multiple substitution.
Multiple substitution.
The kick-in first, he said.
Football is a game of stamina. You have to prove, and it's a game of fitness, right? You can now have players that are substandard in their right fitness regime and so on, and they are being called great.
I disagree.
All right, that's fine. That's no problem.
Yeah.
Secondly, I need more information, because you're saying that somebody can make a 50-yard pass because the ball is now going to be kicked in. But if I am standing right in front, I don't know the rule.
10 yards.
No, but they didn't say that.
It's
from
same
a throw-in,
football rules.
No, but from a foot, right? From a throw-in, you don't have to be 10 yards.
Yes, you do. You can't stand up in front of somebody to throw in the ball.
The rule...
10 yards. That is the rules of the game.
So
well, let's go with that. Yeah.
Right, let's go with that. So if it is that there's a thing you have a 10-yard kick, all right, fine. But I don't know, and these are the type of things that I want FIFA to make clear in terms of defining these new changes, the purpose of these changes, what effect they're looking for, what objective, what outcome. And with that, I can make a better assessment.
All right, here what for this show's sake, we assume everything remains the same. Yeah. Everything remains the same. As far as the rules of the game, these are the 5 changes they're talking about.
So let me address it there. Again, I agree with Clarkey. Football is a game of
stamina.
It's condition, all right? Imagine the Olympic Committee says, you know, we want to reduce or make marathon running more exciting. So we run it in 5-minute bursts, you know, then you go and get a rest, and then you go over the next 5. It's not the same thing. That is something else, right? And if you want to do that, you can do that.
How is not the same?
You want to break up the game. You're saying you have these players going in and coming out. Oh, no, when you're done in football, you come out. When you're out, you have to stay out of the game. Now, this is what I'm saying.
Multiple substitution doesn't mean coaches is not going to make changes, man. They're going to run with the same players.
No, if they have the availability, if they have the possibility to do that, that's what I'm saying. It is there to be used. So if the rules are changed, even if no changes are made, like some basketball teams, right? Durant the other night,
exactly.
for the entire time, right? That's not normal. But the rules allow it, and that is what makes the game, the rules.
For example, Jeff, right? In volleyball, right? Sometimes when you recognize that your star spikers at the back of the court. You make substitutions and put some more on in front so that they spike. So when, right, you recognize that a team is going into attack, and when will the substitutions be made? Same way, when a ball goes out. The ball goes out, I make some substitutions and change 5 right attackers and right and put in 5 defenders, right? Again, to add to it. And then when, right, we get it and we moving forward, and right, it reaches somewhere in their half and the ball goes out, or they could, you know, I switch again and I put 5. That will
stops
kill the
anyway.
game.
Clock stops anyway.
It's not a time issue you're looking at, but the game being changed. Your goalkeeper, you got a free kick, you say, hey, change keeper, put this one in, because he's better at that, you know?
When you can substitute. It's not like you can just stop the clock to
No,
substitute.
but that's what I'm saying. So we're saying if it is the rule.
But you are saying it's the same thing now. You said that. So if there's a free kick, that means I can make a substitution
Yes,
just
you
before
can.
a free kick.
Yes,
So therefore, if I have a free kick specialist, although he's not a very good football player, all right, I will make a substitution and send him on to go and take a free kick.
No.
Why not?
Let me tell you why it's not going to happen like this. You have a thing you need to write up, a card, right?
We have your card right up. We will have that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then you got to go to the linesman. And then you got to report there. And you stay there for the next period for substitution. So you can't do it ahead of time.
No, but we assume
it's not going to happen.
We are assuming there. If you say the rules are the same, If you say the rules are the same, I have my cards because remember this is a tactic that I know that I want to use because this guy is sitting on the bench here.
I'm going
to show me tactic. I'm going to show me tactic. Especially for a free kick. You get a free kick around the box. I know a substitution have to be made. You know acting in football. This guy's going to stay on that ground. Let the paramedics come on. Right? Take him off. And, of course, during that period of time, you already hand in your card, this and that.
On the game, on the regular game, that happens. No. The guy has, if an incident happened, nobody comes on during that time. They come on after.
No, Steve. People
you have to go to the linesman before.
No,
yeah, but Steve,
don't tell me no.
Steve, there's the rules of the game will guide how coaches structure their thing. Right now we have the windows and stuff. So that is already, you have the substitute windows now. You can't just make a substitute anytime. Right. That has been implemented. This is something, my card is written up because I know this is a specialist.
So you know who you're going on for already?
Exactly. Like a corner kick. Okay. That's how it will happen. It happens with those kicks already.
So that might make the game more exciting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My argument is not whether the game is more exciting or less. My argument is what it is doing to the game itself. There's adjustments in the game that people who are fans of football, we appreciate the game because of how it is. There are changes that would make positive influence on the game. Again, I mentioned VAR, although we're having issues with that as well. But you can see logically what this was meant to achieve. You want to minimize, errors that will cost the game, but where goals are concerned. All right? Let me mention the other thing. You're mentioning the stopping the clock. I saw that one as well. But the clock doesn't need to be stopped now. It have balls all over the field. The return time for the ball, that was for like long time. Now you have a ball every part of the field. You have ball boys. The balls come back before the players even ready for it. So what does that add to the game? Now I guess by shortening the game, they're trying to see if they get more time added so that you have more playing time, right? They would have worked out and see what is the time that the ball is on the field, right? And try to truncate the game to suit that. So you want to add back the time by preventing the ball from going out and losing time. But right now we don't lose time when the ball go out because the ball is in your hand before you get to the line.
You never see a player running down a little boys to get the ball?
Yep, and that's tactic. That is a tactic when you have to time wasting and things like that.
Clock would have stopped.
Well, the referee, again, this is another thing that why the rule isn't really achieving what they say it would. The rule right now, the referee is allowed to add time at his discretion for those type of stuff, which is a ball go out, you make the change, and those are things that are added on in.
Are you telling me when the referee going like this, right? He adding these seconds. Come on, they don't
Yeah, he
add
added
seconds.
time.
No, he going like, and then at the end of the game they get 1 minute overtime,
Right.
and the game stopped for 10 minutes. It doesn't work
Steve, at
That
the
is
end of
what
the
the game
day,
is.
equally.
at the end of the day, we can talk about these changes, but no matter what, we are still speculating.
We not
Because, yes, we do. For example,
how we speculate.
because if it is, do I have a time, what is the time do I have to put the ball back in play when it's,
When you put it back in play, the clock starts
all right,
again.
so therefore,
So you can stay as long as you want.
really, so I can say as long as I want.
Well, I'm saying,
Well, no, that is the
Within
point
reason.
I'm
then you're
making.
going to get a yellow card, and then you're going to spend 5 minutes outside.
Well, I need to get some more information
All
on
right,
this.
Clarky, with the rules that we have
Yeah.
now and the 5 changes, what we want to know is whether it's good, it's bad, or it's indifferent.
Well,
Yeah, that's what
All right? And is that going to help the game or not?
all right, for
And
example.
it's going to be more. Go ahead.
For example, before we go to break, a player only gets 5 minutes suspension with a yellow card. I can have a very bad tackle, or it's not a red card offense, but yellow card offenses still injure people. He is out. I am on the side. I'm back in 5 minutes. He is out. He's injured, or he is incapacitated. Where he,
How does that change the price of cocoa?
no. With a yellow card, your next offense is it that after the yellow card, your next offense is a red card or another yellow card again, where you go out and you come in?
Yeah,
I need some more information.
It's the
Same, yeah, same.
rules that apply. 2 yellow cards is
I
what?
read. Yeah.
So with the yellow card, you go out,
5 minutes.
5 minutes, you come back in.
You get another
so
one,
you play with
red.
10 for less than 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then right with the other offense, you get a red.
It's like indoor soccer. You're playing with 1 man short for 5 minutes.
Yeah, just like here.
So that is the penalty for a yellow card. But the same if you get another one, you red carded.
Okay.
So we just had to bring it in with all the rules that we have now.
I like to pick back up right here with this yellow card
Yes.
issue. When we
With that yellow card issue? All right, because this is like indoor soccer. If you ever seen it on
Yeah.
television or played it, it's
I've
the
seen
same.
you playing it right indoor soccer, Steve.
Viewers, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Viewers, we'll be right back after a short break.
if they want to try this, create a version of football, call it what you want, and do that. Just like as
20,
cricket did. We still have 50 overs, which is limited overs.
And maybe
cricket.
that's what they want
And
to
they did the 20 overs, go 2020, right? Again, it has its own rules, it has its different set of fans, and there are people who are still interested in Test cricket.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. Like we were saying, so you wanted to talk about,
Yeah,
Jeff,
the yellow card.
yellow card. Go ahead.
Right? So Clarky started a point there now. There, the same rules. You have somebody who goes in maliciously, takes out the player, right? That player has to stay off, while the player who
Committed the offense.
committed the infringement, he gets a 5-minute as a penalty. Now, again, we're looking at that in a malicious sense. Well, it would seem just or fair. What about the player who gets a yellow card when it's a dodgy yellow card? Maybe the referee thinks that a player is infringing or
5 minutes.
whatever.
5 minutes.
No, but again, the game suffers. The question is, if the game is going to suffer, obviously the quality of the game is
Which will be
decreased
compromised when this
player is
the
off,
field.
because it's 10 versus 11, right? Football, as we have it now, is not that.
Right,
You get your yellow, right? If you get a second one, you get a red.
Let
then
me
you
pass
show.
spanner into this. What if the goalkeeper gets a yellow card?
Yeah, what happened?
come off.
He comes off for 5 minutes, so nobody in the goal, or
Yeah, no.
just another player goes in the
Just
goal for that
as
period of
somebody
time.
else would,
You could
go, or
substitute
you
your
make the
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper, you
Yeah.
substitute, you put in your goalkeeper,
And you take somebody else.
No, right now, you indicated over and over again.
That's what will happen.
Yeah, that will happen. No.
No, that will happen.
Yeah.
You substitute for a goalkeeper and you take
Your
a
goalkeeper
player.
come and take an outfield player and take
That
him off.
happens.
Right, but I'm saying that
What?
when that happens again,
Same thing
you are
goes.
compromising the quality of the game because a goalkeeper is a specialist position.
Same like they do now.
What?
Yeah,
No,
but
they don't do that
no,
now.
you,
That
it's if you get a red.
Against a red card.
If you get a red. So you see how the game is
Or
being
you're saying for a yellow, the
Yellow
goalkeeper get
card,
yellow?
he has to
Yeah,
go
if
for
you got
5
yellow.
minutes.
He has to go.
And then you bring on a goalkeeper, like if it's a red,
Which means the game
and you could
suffers.
no.
Yes.
And then you could take off a player just like
Yes,
they
but the
do.
game, but
No, but
Steve,
he's just
now
off
the
for
game is
5
played.
minutes, Steve. Why are you bringing on a player? Why are you substituting?
I
Unlimited
don't,
substitution?
you don't have to. You could, as a matter of fact, and I know this from indoor football. When you have a man advantage, if somebody gets a 5 minutes, they will take the goalkeeper out and bring on an outside player because normally the team with the short player
Just
would
defend.
just defending.
Yeah.
And now they got 2 additional players instead of 1 attacking. So it makes it more exciting for the
That
fans.
is
Yes,
for indoor
I-
football because it's not 11 people on an indoor
Right.
football field.
No,
Right?
But I know I'm talking about in relation to.
Yeah, but
Yes.
but I need to understand what FIFA. If it's just for excitement, I think football has enough excitement as it is right now. If that, because the only point we have come up with in terms of an objective is that it'll make it more exciting.
Yeah.
Right? It'll make it more exciting.
Nothing about quality.
And this
Right?
is,
Nothing more the quality. Nothing more
That
the
adds to the game.
nothing that really adds to the game like VAR. VAR adds to the game.
you know. Speaking of, let's talk about VAR for one
Yeah.
second. VAR is good, and I think we're gonna go further with VAR, with not even with linesmen. We're gonna get rid of our linesmen, which we really don't need. We can do that VAR, and have maybe 3 or 2 referees, 3 people on, like basketball. They have referees running around the field because one here, and do it like that. Because that would be better served than having this guy running up and down the field and messing up your field, the sideline, when it's muddy.
I like it was Steve looking at the maintenance man now. Well,
Yeah.
again, these changes, for me, it has to show how the game is going to benefit, how the game is going to benefit in terms of the aesthetics, how the game is going to benefit in terms of the fan value, right? And from a player perspective, we play the game because we like it. It's something that we enjoy doing. And again, these proposed changes, my take on it, if they want to try this, create a version of football, call it what you want, and do that. Just like as cricket did. We still have 50 overs, which is limited overs.
And maybe
cricket,
that's what they want
and
to
they did the 20 overs, 2020, right? Again, it has its own rules, it has its different set of fans, and there are people who are still interested in Test cricket and your 50
Right, limited
version
overs.
and the 2020.
All right.
So do that, but don't interfere with the football.
Tell me if you think it's gonna add excitement, or it would take away the excitement, or it would stay the same.
All right, let us put it this way, Steve.
Let's look at it that way.
Let us take big professional clubs where you have sold out fans right in those places all the time. So therefore, it is not affecting your income at the turnstile because you can't add any more people into the stadium, right? I don't think it's adding any more exciting because those fans are pretty excited already because and they make noise for 120 minutes, right? Before the game starts, they make a noise, they enjoy, right, what they see, right? So therefore, what additional purpose is it adding? I personally do not see the purpose of it. Even the throw-ins, right? The throw-ins are a skill that you have to adapt in terms of being a long throw, if you could be a long throw person, how you throw it to your feet. It adds to the difficulty of the game, which adds some intrigue. All right, so you're taking that away. Anybody could kick a ball, even if they kick it off target. Anybody could kick a ball, but right, you add in some variation to the game with this throwing, and they're going to take that away now. All right? You also have the 5-minute, right, yellow card. That is the only one that I don't mind. Whereby a player gets a yellow card and he's on the field still. Yes, that 5-minute thing, I see that adding value because you are punished, and the players that pull a jersey for a yellow card because so they know they are beaten, and they know that if they get beaten and this guy goes, he could score. They are punished, and therefore that is the only change that I see could add some significant value if it is implemented. All the others, I have some worries with it. Because you can get a yellow card for a throw-in, right? They're taking a little too long to make a free kick, which could just have no options. And the referee finds that, because it's the referee's discretion. It's not a timeline like, basketball at 25 seconds and they had to, it's his discretion. So if he finds that, well, you run up one and you come back because you see a different option, wham, he could give you a yellow card because it's his discretion. So that is what I'm having some trouble with in terms of with these new rules, and especially the yellow card. Because it could influence the game now more by the player being off the field, you must have some sort of control over discretion, and it must be rules that drive that versus discretion.
Let me say something so I could, young people who changes should be on your front foot. It's not. Football is for what? Is entertainment, right? It's for me to leave my house, pay, and go and enjoy a football game and come back home and take some stress off. So these rules that we're looking at here now is all about how does it affect the fans? How do we get how we get them even more into the game? And that's what this is for, not the players on the field. Forget about what the players, they don't care about the players. We make enough money that they fail, you make enough money.
And that was the first point I made, Steve.
And that is my problem, because the FIFA clearly is not thinking about the players.
No.
Let me take which are the biggest stakeholders in football, right? In any sport, the people who play it. Now, you have Clarky saying he's unsure about what is behind it. It's clear they are creating a model for television. The problem with that is all football is not played on television. The league, because if you're making a change to the game to benefit the game, you can't just think about the European version or your big tournaments or your events that have TV rights involved. Football is a game that's played across the world, and it's played by many people who don't have the means to even carry out some of the things that they're suggesting, right? In your community leagues and so on. How are you going to do stop the clock? The referee have a watch. It's probably not even a digital watch, And those are the things that, on a large scale, this does not speak to everybody who's doing this. Now, I'm still, Clarky mentioned one with the yellow cards. I haven't seen one of these suggestions that will benefit the game. And again, I'm looking at the football in general. I'm not looking at a game that I'm probably going to TV. I'm thinking about a game I go into Savannah to see, right? Think about this. Imagine you have the rule implemented 5 minutes out, right? You have the referee send off one, and he forget his watch. A man outside there, and you could think about the chaos.
Somebody...
You saying that.
All right, Steve, let's say minor league. These rules are for big stadium. You have minor leagues in Trinidad, where the crowd right on the touchline. How you kicking in now, boy?
You back them off like we used to do back in the day.
They're wasting time in the game.
No, but it's the same, though.
No, but my point is there are
was the
so
same
many
back in the
issues,
day.
as just had said, that this, if I understand it's for television, and if it's for television, right, and to try to make the game more exciting for a younger crowd and so on, then do like what cricket did and create a 2020 league.
Yeah.
But for normal football, where they already have the fans of football who understand the difficulties of the game and the intrigue of the game and the tactical rivalry of the game as it is, then that is what people look at football for. With the 2020 game in cricket, there are some people who like tests who don't look at 2020 because they find it's just people going in there and whooping, as they call it, right?
Yeah,
So they don't look at that
version,
version of the game, because they are not seeing the skill and the patience and all of that in what test cricket brings to you.
Let me take you down a deeper version then. All the changes that they have made in football back in the day, you like them all?
Huh?
Do you like them all?
But they added value, and you saw the purpose of it.
There's a
So, for
purpose.
example, where it is a goalkeeper could have held the ball as long as he wanted, they reduced that in time and so on and so forth.
He still holds at the same time.
Right, or where you could pass back, or now that the ball that have to, right, you had to allow it to go out the 18-yard box before somebody else could touch it. All those things significantly improved the game itself, and we understood the reason for it.
Offside. Tell me how that improves. The new offside rule compared to the old offside rule. How does that improve the game?
What is the new offside rule? That you, right, the last player, you cannot be closer to the goalkeeper.
No, the change, that remains the same as where they
Oh, you mean
from.
right when they raise the flag?
No. You could be in an offside position.
Yes, but once you don't interfere with the play. Right.
No, but that's not new.
That's not new.
The only thing, the newest part of it is actually where they actually taking the offside from, right? So before, they would use your foot, right? So the arm pit now, the part of the body that can actually score with, right? No. So if that is in our offside position, so your feet could be behind your line and you lean your shoulder into it,
and that's not even where I'm going with that. Offside. Yeah. If you're in an offside position, I could be a decoy in an offside position, could throw off a defender.
Correct.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that, and this person is standing out there and he's not involved.
Right, yeah.
But he's still in an offside position.
Yeah,
that should be an offside.
No, but the rule as it is now, it still makes sense, because even though he's in an offside position, if he interferes, so the ball goes through his leg and he opens, that's offside.
regardless
of that, he's standing in an offside position.
No, but he's not affecting the play. If he's not affecting the play.
And I think that adds to the game.
Yeah.
That adds to the game, because this game is about tactics and stamina. Yeah. And whoever is running off the ball for that decoy, if we don't or if the opposing team don't recognize that and have a man tracking with him, it could be an advantage. That's tactics, right? So, and this is a tactical game. Football is a tactical game. When you come now,
these changes are tactical.
No, when you come now, and I come into the changes. When you come now to tell me that I can put a ball instead of a throw-in, right, with my feet.
Tactical.
Tactical in what way?
We bend it all around the field into the far post, and somebody come and head it at the end of the game, tie it up.
I argue this, Steve. What, and like you mentioned it before, what gives a higher element of skill to that is the person who's able to execute a long throw.
Correct.
Just as you couldn't kick it, there are those who couldn't. No, everybody can do
Same
that.
though.
But everybody can
But
kick
it gives you, exactly, it gives you an element of the game. The ball is off the field, you restart by throwing with your hands. Now, the playing it with your feet, we have versions, again, when you play
so you restart with your foot.
Goal or futsal.
Futsal.
Do that. Make a game.
For that to happen.
Put that in there. But football, no, sir.
Well, it's the same
You're
as
improving it.
It's the same as making doing offside.
How many futsal games have you seen?
None.
That's my point. Because it doesn't interest you. That version of the game
will interest
does not
somebody else.
interest you. It will interest
No,
somebody
because
else. Right?
no, not is that because we don't have much
you will
futsal going on
watch
here.
your traditional football
course.
and you like your traditional
Of
football.
course.
I like indoor football.
I love
Right.
indoor football as well because it's exciting because it is more like 2020 cricket.
No,
But
well,
it's different to
It's
11.
different.
And that's our point. that is a different version that creates excitement.
So that's part of indoor football. You put the ball on the
Great,
green.
but it's a short, but it's a smaller field. It's
Different
less players,
Yeah.
different rules,
You can hit it to the goal.
no problem in that
Same.
version of the game.
But
in
it's
that
the same.
version.
It's the same.
In that version of the game.
Open up your mind, young Sweat.
Yeah, we and that's the
Yeah,
thing
but
about
those
it is,
rules are already there, but in another version of the game. And that's all we say.
And maybe that's what FIFA is trying to do. Maybe FIFA is like trying this out. We don't know what they're doing it for. Trying it out to get another version of the game out there, like
Okay,
the T20.
and if that's the reason, then I will
Do
be
that.
all
We
gung ho
don't
for it.
know. We don't know.
Do that.
But we just
But
this
that's
is
what I've always said. I need to know the objective.
this is experimental. So we gotta treat it like experimental. Let's take a break, and we come back. We get to the last segment of the show. Viewers, we'll be right back after the short break.
So these changes, and they already have a demographic of people that like that form of the game. So everything that they have, but that demographic does not compare to the demographic that likes the other form of the game, the 11 versus 11.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. All right, I want you guys to touch on one more. Unlimited substitution. Think about this. We are goal down, and we can bring on 5 attackers, and we go in. Score, tie up the game, then we go back to our regular, pull them off, and we go back to the regular. Now the game is back again.
All right.
Think about the excitement for the fans.
now, again, there are many things you can do to excite the fans. Eh?
Yeah.
You gotta be careful how you go with that.
Right.
Now, the thing about the unlimited subs, I can see that being a benefit. Now, not the going in and coming out. If you have unlimited subs, based on who you have on your bench, you could use all of them.
That's what
All right.
it's about.
But you can't bring them
Go in
on
and come
take
back,
them out.
go in and come back.
No. I'm not
Right, like
agreeing to that.
basketball.
I'm not
What
agreeing
does
to that.
unlimited subs mean? Is it like basketball?
Like basketball.
Where you go, and I don't know.
Unlimited
Nah.
substitution.
Nah.
Unlimited substitutions could mean
Could
that
mean you're allowed to
I have
use
17 players,
Yeah.
and everybody on my bench could go on. I could even put my goalkeeper on as a
Yeah,
striker if I want
right.
to. Right?
unlimited. Again, I
But
would
right
allow
now,
that.
they're almost unlimited.
Yeah, because they increased it to 5.
Because they increased
No,
it to
because of
5,
COVID.
they also
And then
said...
if you go to intra time.
No. They also said that if somebody gets a head injury, they will allow for a head injury to be a 6 sub, but only if the person gets a head injury. So that's a 6 sub. And then they also allowed us another sub for the goalkeeper, if it is that the goalkeeper gets injured.
What does that unlimited means?
Well, that's what
That's
I'm
what you
saying.
said.
Unlimited substitution.
No.
It's just like indoor. You in and you out, you in and you out, you in and you out, you in and you out.
That's rolling
That's unlimited.
sub, as they call it. But
Yeah.
so I'm not in a favor of that. Let me say it.
Why not?
So if that's
Why not?
again, it changes the game.
How?
It changes the game because the
Of the tactics, stamina.
energy requirement
Correct.
is now less for the player because now I get tired, I come out, I sit down for 5 minutes, I go back in, right?
Hold, stop there. If I know I can come out, if I get winded and go back in, I'm going to run harder. So
Don't get
it
winded.
doesn't-
Train
What
to
I'm
have the
saying,
capacity for 45 minutes.
what is
at a time.
fitness? Fitness is your ability to recover
Yeah,
in short space
correct.
of time.
You're correct.
If you run hard, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna get tired,
Yeah.
regardless of how fit you are.
But no,
But then you go 2 breaths and you're back to normal.
do that on the field.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'm saying you will work harder because you know I could come out and time out but not timeout for the whole team, individual timeout, and I could come back on.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I disagree.
Every single thing that FIFA has mentioned there is already implemented in another version of the game,
Okay.
indoor soccer. Right? And therefore, this is my point. It works well in indoor soccer. You have indoor soccer fans, and you have different parameters in indoor soccer, meaning smaller playing field, smaller goals, right? Smaller quantity of players, less players.
Excitement.
Excitement.
For the
That's
crowd.
basketball.
That's for the fans.
Right, that's basketball. That's right. So these changes, and they already have a demographic of people
Right.
that like that form of the game. So everything that they have there, but that demographic does not compare to the demographic that likes the other form of the game, the 11 versus 11, where you have tens of thousands of people filling stadiums to see that version of the game. And that's my question. What is the right? What's the purpose? Is it to draw more fans? Is it for TV rights? If it's for TV rights, then show more of indoor soccer on mainstream sport channels and so on, which you can't find.
Okay, but they haven't told us why. So all I'm
But you told
saying
me don't
is,
speculate.
well,
And
okay.
I wanted to speculate.
So all I'm saying is, based on what's now, are you gonna like this or are you?
No, I won't
No,
like
I
it
won't.
in the present.
No, we have a good example here. Now, Clacky touched on it in a way where you have football is called the game of billions. Billions of people. The statistic is almost 4 billion people are involved, whether by viewing, playing recreationally or professional otherwise, right? It is is the game that most people participate in the world because of how it is, right? The interest is there. Now, football is a game that plays 45 minutes at a time. For that 45 minutes, the fans are engaged, the technical staff is engaged, the players are engaged at any time, right? Now, if we compare that to, let's say, NFL, which with the rule changes or the suggestions, it seems to be going more into a version of kind of NFL. So with the whistle blow,
Play stop.
play stop.
Clock stop.
We reset, we reorganize, whatever, and then we go again, right? So the game is broken up now into phases rather than one flowing activity. Again, for me, that is too big a change on football. You have to change and call it something else. The football that we is
We've
not that
become accustomed.
Yeah, we have, and it's not that there's a point that you're making that you keep saying, we're resisting change, and that I am willing to accept changes. Again, like I said, the VAR, right? There are probably other things that may come up that we will say, yes, okay, this is going to improve some part of the football.
You said one thing that's wrong. When the whistle blow, player don't stop, clock stops. So if it whistle blow and it happens,
the player had the clock stops. The football is not being played at that point in time.
But hear what I'm saying. Just like the regular game, whistle blow, you got to play, stop and play, right? Whistle blow, play stops.
Yeah.
And then you just put the ball down and you play. So it doesn't affect the game in no way, shape, or form.
Well,
It's just the clock is stopping.
Right, not necessarily. Just let me correct that statement. And that's why I say I need more clarity. In basketball, if the game is stopped, the referee hands them back the ball.
Yes, they want to start back. You can't start it back
Then
yourself.
they start back. Because, right, somebody don't run off, take it. In football as well, in American football, when the game is stopped, the referee stops, makes his announcement, so, hands them back the ball. They have 25 seconds to restart the play.
Yeah.
And so therefore there are rules into the rules that are controlling all those
So how does that
parameters.
affect?
Well, that's
the
what I'm saying. So
same.
So then when the game is stopped in this football, a player just can't take a quick free kick.
No,
The
because game
referee
stopped.
must
Yeah.
restart it.
No.
Steve,
Now, does the referee restart the play?
there's a different thing.
I am asking you, does the referee start now?
No, he doesn't have to. There are certain
doesn't have to.
situations where he has to if it's a indirect.
Same.
But now
No,
that
you
you're
can't say it's
stopping the
same.
clock,
You can't say it's same, Steve, because the rule suggested is that the clock is going to be stopped. If the clock is stopped,
the referee
game
has
is
to
not
start
playing.
it back.
Who is restarting the clock?
Who's restarting it back?
The referee don't start it. You get the ball, you
No,
put the
Steve,
ball
if
down, and you
start-
play.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What do you do now?
So I stop the clock
We're
for
not
1
gonna be
second if a
doing-
guy takes a free kick.
We're not going to be doing.
Forget the clock.
No, we
the
can't forget
clock
the clock,
man
And
got
forget
his
break
job.
is
Clock
one
in
of
the
the
game.
right suggestions.
That's one of the changes.
The clock man got his job to do.
Well, that's going to be
Forget
a
the
problem.
clock. The
Because
game
just
plays
like in
the same.
basketball, when the game restarts,
The
before
referee
time,
starts the game.
they have to stop now, and then they say have to check the clock because they have to put back the amount of time that's supposed to be on it.
All right, let's
That's
go.
how
Let's go
it
to
goes.
basketball.
So they're further complicating the game.
A team scores,
Yeah,
clock stops, right?
yeah.
Does the referee have to start the play? No, the player run behind the
The clock
basket.
doesn't
So this
stop
is what
if
I'm
a team
saying.
scores, you know.
Huh?
The clock doesn't stop if a team scores.
Okay, it doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't
okay,
stop.
perfect. So the same thing will go on in the football.
No,
Clock
we
stops.
don't know. You said don't speculate. They said that the clock is going to stop
when the ball
is out of play.
Out of bounds, right?
Right. So
Not say
therefore,
but
with
in
the
the field.
ball being out of bounds,
All right.
right, the referee restarts it in basketball.
Okay, but all right, let's say the same. So if the ball is in the field, clock don't have to stop then.
All right.
So my mistake. Clock don't stop. Ball playing. So
Right.
the
Right.
game is the same.
when the ball is in play. When
When
the
it's
ball
in
goes
play.
out,
Yeah.
again, the game is broken up because the ball has to be restarted by.
Okay,
the
so my mistake. Ball is in the field, clock don't stop because that's what it says.
Right.
Clock stop when the ball goes out.
Yeah.
Right. So again,
So it doesn't change the game.
it does change the game
Huh?
because now the referee has to restart the game, not the player.
No.
Now restarts up to the player. Right. I don't need to with the throws. You ask the linesman where it is. He tells you where it is. Boom. The game is.
Now, the only way
started.
that affects the game, Jeff,
No, Jeff.
is by capturing all the extra time.
Right.
But in doing so, they also reduce the normal playing time of
The
the
flow.
game.
Yeah,
So
the
the
flow.
only positive of stopping the clock is taken away the referee's discretion for extra time.
Right.
And I could now capture
All-
the wastage of time outside.
Fully.
Fully.
Yeah, yes.
However, they have now reduced the game. So it basically brings the game back.
To the
You might
same.
get
Almost the
7, 8,
same.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Correct. You'll get almost the same thing. So why make that change when you already have 45 minutes per half and added extra time? What
you-
is
and you don't
that
affect the
change
flow.
really affected?
Okay. So you're making sense with that now because it does kind of average out the time anyway. It's going to be an hour and a half game regardless of
Correct.
whatever you do.
Right.
That's it.
And again,
so
as
it
I
doesn't
said,
affect the
so
game.
we're seeing here.
Then why
that
make the change?
these
Why make the
changes
change
are
in
suggested
offside?
for TV. These changes, the 5 of them, are difficult to implement in our playing of football in your community, at school level, at youth level.
I agree with
these
that.
are things that.
Now, Steve
We have
asked a
to
question
go with-
just now.
we have to-
The reason the change for offside was made is so that goals can be scored,
encouraged.
because that is what makes football exciting. So if that tactic that you use could create a scoring opportunity and a goal is scored versus a deadlock game 0-0 and it's boring and fans walk out on 0-0 games, they come there to see goals scored. So the effect of that is to get an increase number of goals and make the game more exciting, as you would say, and cause the other team to open up, and then the game becomes. That is the reason for that offside rule change.
Yeah, and over the last 10, 15 years, FIFA that was one of the things that they stated clearly. The rules and the adjustments that have been made is to encourage more goals.
Goals, they even
to
did
be
that
scored.
with the
They said
balls.
that,
They
right.
changed the design of the ball so that the ball
There's one thing concerning the offside, right, in terms of the time the referee raises flag, which, some people are, they don't like. But I think it makes sense, right, where you allow the play to be finished, right, or to see where it's going, and then you raise the flag. So not when the player is offside, the flag goes up immediately. Now, again, in the old version, if that player was actually not offside, you denied the team in possession a chance to score. Now, you let the player play, he shoots, if he scores, and you put it back on his offside, all right, the goal is cancelled. So which is something that you allow the play to develop, and you got the desired outcome.
I don't mind that.
That's what I'm saying. So these are changes that you can see the value of it. You can see the purpose, why it was implemented, and it actually makes sense. It doesn't change the game. It adds, actually, to the game because now you have the possibility to score.
In offside, what I do mind is person would be a decoy in an offside position. If I am a defender, that is bothering me. Because,
and it's tactical.
Because if the whole defense comes back, he comes back now onside.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
So that is not right.
No, I think it's more in line with football than some of the suggested changes, because it's as a defender, it calls for you now to have a higher level of concentration and to be able to know where you are in the field and stuff like that.
Have better communication between the goalkeeper and his players, or have ensure that tactically you have your covering defender, and those things are all right. In the same way, this is a tactic. The attacker is onside and the defender is just behind him, and he is looking to see when this ball is going to be kicked, and he just moves up just in front of the defender first. It's a tactic. So it's the same thing as, okay, I will stay offside, but I know this ball not coming at me, right, based on the new rules. It's going to go over my head, but you're going to move up. The whole defense is going to move up, and my player will have more room to collect the ball. It's just a tactic.
Yeah, and players did that before that rule was implemented, right? Plenty times you would see players, Suarez and they hanging back in an offside position. They know the ball not coming to them. But again, as you mentioned, they're making sure that the defender, is always on the swivel. You can't say it's wrong. It's
do you watch?
It's legal.
Do you watch cricket?
Yeah.
I like the
Which version of cricket
version of the cricket.
Exactly. And I'm sure when that first was speculating, you were like, what are they messing with?
Not
cricket?
at all. I was happy.
And now,
I was always
2020
happy.
take over all
No, I was happy because I was not a test cricket fan.
Right.
So if it is that these changes are being done to attract a different demographic, therefore call it something else. For example, if it is that they want to try it in, let's say the US has A-League and
USL.
Right, USL and so on. Or they want to try it in the minor leagues and see if it attracts, but not to my present game and my present teams. Try it somewhere else. Try it, if they're trying it, don't try that with Manchester United versus Man City. Try it in the minor leagues or whatever the case is where I don't have to see it.
Your closing remarks, I hear his. His closing remarks is don't try it. Then what's yours on this?
Don't try it. If you want to create something else,
Correct.
Call it what you want, and implement it. That's not my problem, right? I like football.
It's already implemented?
Make some... It's on trial. It's on trial.
It's experimental.
No, but it's already implemented in indoor soccer, Jeff.
Okay, good. So you have a version right there.
Everything that
Go and watch that. Go and
watch that, correct.
Yeah, that.
So you telling FIFA, forget about it.
Go watch that.
What if they wanted to run another league?
No problem. I have no problem with that.
So that might be what the idea.
That's what I'm saying. I need to know their objective. That's the first thing I started with.
You like this? You don't like this to replace present-day football?
No.
But you wouldn't mind it in another league?
No problem.
No problem.
Same here?
No problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks, you guys, for not understanding a little bit of change. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. ACTN, thanks for the opportunity. Viewers, we come on a Monday night at 8. Repeat on a Tuesday and a Saturday at 1. We have a Facebook page. You can check us out. We have an email address, fieldofdreamtt@gmail.com. You can drop us a line. This show has ended. Go in peace. I'm Steve David.